Welcome back, everybody. We have brand new developments in the president's controversial health care plan. The Department of Health and Human Services reporting this week that almost 2 million more people are now part of the federal ObamaCare exchange this year, and another 4.5 million are renewing their coverage. But the battle over Obamacare is far from over. Portions of the employer mandate will be going into effect come January 1st. This against the backdrop of a new GOP majority that will take over on Capitol Hill in just a few weeks. And Obamacare will also be getting a Supreme Court review come March. So how will all of this impact Obamacare in the new year? Let's check in with Forbes Media CEO Steve Forbes. Welcome, sir. Great to have you here.
Good to be with you, Uma. Thank you.
Do you see the Supreme Court challenge that will get underway in March as the most serious threat to the health care law?
It is. And if the Supreme Court, depending on what they rule, if they end up siding with the plaintiffs and say that those 37 states, those exchange activities are illegal, then the president's going to have to do some compromising and trying to reach a deal that he's not accustomed to. So you have really two tracks. First, the employer mandate, as you mentioned, kicks in for companies with 100 or more people, and some of them are going to decide this may not be worth the cost. But even those with the 50 to 99 people are going to have to make very detailed monthly statements in terms of getting ready for this thing. And companies with under 50 people are going to have some surprises. For example, if you own two small businesses, the federal government combines those. So you may be picked up by this even if you don't realize it yet. So there's a lot of rulemaking still to be done, a lot of new onerous regulations coming, and then you have the whole Supreme Court wild card, which, as you indicated, they hear the arguments in March and will probably decide before the end of June.
So it's obviously going to have a big impact, as you point out, on businesses. Do you expect then that a lot of businesses are just going to curtail employment?
Well, a lot of businesses, we've already seen this already, and a couple of the Federal Reserve banks have done studies on this, have been very, very reluctant to hire full-time people, trying to keep under that barrier of make sure people are part-time so they don't get swept up in this law. And then you have the whole thing on the so-called Cadillac tax. The Cadillac tax doesn't come in until 2018, but big companies are already making a glide way into it by raising co-pays, raising deductibles, and starting to make decisions whether they want to stay in this thing altogether. So there are a lot of moving parts on this, and overall it's going to mean more costs and more confusion, and that's going to hurt economic growth.
Wow. I want to switch really quickly to another topic that continues to draw some big headlines, and that's the drop in oil prices. Obviously, consumers are very happy about this, but what about the impact on businesses going forward in the new year?
Well, the drop in oil prices reflects the strength of the dollar in recent months. And the thing about the dollar is the Federal Reserve did not intend that to happen. And the question is, what are they going to do about it in the new year? If they try to weaken the dollar again, thinking that'll stimulate the economy, that's going to be a bad thing. So this is a case where if the Federal Reserve does less, that'll be good. Low energy prices, obviously that's having an impact on the energy industry. But anyone who consumes energy, which is all of us, this is a very, very good thing. This is going to give America a little extra growth in 2015, which is necessary because economies around the world are still in pretty bad shape.
Steve Forbes, always great to see you with your insights. Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Uma. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.